Hare Krishna, everyone.
Haribol, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Zoom is unable to detect my camera.
What was that?
It says Zoom cannot detect my camera.
Oh, no, there you are.
No, got it? Okay.
Sorry.
So first we'll start our kirtan. It's already 7:31. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girvardhari
Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girvardhari
Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana.
Yodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama Rama
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama, Hare
Hare Hare
Hare.
Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Guranita, Guranita,
Gauranitai,
Guranita, Jaya
Gauranitai,
Guranita,
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Guranita,
Gauranitai,
Guranita,
Gauranitai,
Guranita, Jaya Guranita,
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada,
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 Srila
Srila
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya Guru Deva, Guru
Guru
Deva, Deva Jaya Guru Deva.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitya Gora Hari Bol, Hari
Hari Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Nitai
Nitya
Gaur
Gora
Hari
Hari Bol.
Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitya
Nitai
Gora
Gaur
Hari
Hari
Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Nitai Gaur
Nitya
Hari
Gora Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Yes, Kishi Gaur Nitai Ki Dev.
Jai.
Jai,
बात परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य शतधर शत श्री श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की
Jai,
संस्थापक आचार्य पीटी फाउंडर आचार्य श्रीला प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
Jai,
होल वर्ल्ड श्रीला प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
Jai,
जय विष्णु बात परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
Jai,
नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की
Jai.
Jai,
गौ श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की
Jai.
Jai,
श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्यामकुंड राधाकुंड गिरिगोवर्धन की
Jai.
Jai,
रत्नमूल वृंदावन धाम की
Jai.
Jai,
क्षेत्रम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुर धाम की
Jai.
Jai,
नवदीप नवदीप धाम की
Jai.
गंगा माई यमुना माई की
Jai.
Jai,
देवी तुलसी देवी की
Jai.
Jai,
समस्त भक्तवृंद की
Jai.
अनंतल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की
Jai,
Jai.
अनंतल प्रसाद डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की
Jai,
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
की
जय।
जय।
All Premanande.
हरि
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 All
बोल।
बोल।
glorious assembled devotees.
हरे
All
हरे
glorious
कृष्णा।
कृष्ण।
assembled devotees.
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण।
कृष्णा।
All glorious assembled devotees. All
हरे
glorious.
हरे
कृष्ण।
कृष्णा।
All glories Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Lord of Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय।
जय।
Hare Krishna.
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा।
कृष्ण।
First of all, I welcome all of you for today's discussion of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from Canto 5, the creative impetus, and chapter 1. We are still in chapter 1, the activities of Maharaj Priyavrata, and text number 41. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
ॐ
ओम
नमो
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 भगवते
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 वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
ओम
ॐ
नमो
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 भगवते
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 वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय
Narayanam Namaskritya.
नारायणं
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 नमस्कृत्य
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 Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
नरं चैव
नरं चैव
नरोत्तमं
नरोत्तमं
Devim
नरोत्तमं
Saraswatim Vyasam.
देवीं
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 सरस्वतीं
सरस्वतीं
व्यासं
सरस्वतीं
Tato
व्यासं
Jayam Udhiret.
ततो
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 जयमुदीरये।
जयमुदीरयेत्
जयमुदीरयेत्।
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu.
नष्टप्रियेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु
भद्रेषु
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 Yam Bhagavata Sevaya.
नित्यं
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 भागवत
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 सेवया
सेवया।
सेवया।
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
भगवती
भगवति
भगवतीतमः
उत्तम
उत्तमश्लोके
श्लोके
श्लोके।
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
भक्तिर्भवति
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 नैष्टिकी
नैष्ठिकी।
नैष्टिकी।
So please kindly repeat after me that shloka number 41. Bhaumam Divyam Manusham Cha.
ओमं
भौमं
भौमं
दिव्यं
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 मानुषं
मनुष्यं
मानुषं
च।
च।
च
Bhaumam Divyam Manusham Cha.
भौमं
भौमं
ओमं
दिव्यं
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 मानुषं च।
मानुषं
मनुष्यं च।
Mahitvam Karma Yogajam.
मह्ये
महित्वं
त्वां
महित्वं
कर्मयोगजम्।
कर्मयोगजम्
कर्मयोगः।
Mahitvam Karma Yogajam.
मह्ये
महित्वं
त्वं
महित्वं
कर्मयोगजम्।
कर्मयोगजम्
कर्मयोगजम्।
Yaschakre Nirayau Pamyam.
यश्चक्रे
यश्चक्रे
निरयौपम्यम्
निरयौपमयम्।
Yaschakre Nirayau Pamyam.
यश्चक्रे
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 निरयौपम्यम्
निरयौपमयम्।
Purushanu Priyaha.
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
Purushanu Priyaha.
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
Bhaumam Divyam Manusham Cha.
भौमं
ओमं
दिव्यं
दिव्यं
मानुषं च।
मानुषं च
मानुषं च।
Mahitvam Karma Yogajam.
महित्वं
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 कर्मयोगजम्
कर्मयोगजम्।
Yaschakre Nirayau Pamyam.
यश्चक्रे
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 निरयोपम्यम्।
निरयौपम्यम्
निरयोपमयम्।
Purushanu Priyaha.
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
Bhaumam Divyam Manusham Cha.
भौमं
ओमं
दिव्यं
दिव्यं
मानुषं च।
मानुषं च।
Mahitvam Karma Yogajam.
महित्वं
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 कर्मयोगजम्।
कर्मयोगजम्
कर्मयोगजम्।
Yaschakre Nirayau Pamyam.
यश्चक्रे
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 निरयोपम्यम्।
निरयौपम्यम्
निरयोपमयम्।
Purushanu Priya.
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः। ओमं दिव्यं मनुष्यं च।
भौमं
भौमं
ओमं
दिव्यं
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 मानुषं च।
मानुषं च।
मानुषम्
महित्वं कर्मयोगजम्।
महित्वं
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 कर्मयोगजम्।
कर्मयोगजम्। यश्चक्रे निर्योपमयम्।
यश्चक्रे
यश्चक्रे
निरयौपम्यम्
निरयोपमयम्।
निरयोपम्यम्।
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
होमं दिव्यं मानुषं च।
ओमं
Bhaumam
दिव्यं
दिव्यं
Divyam
मानुषं
मानुषं
च
च।
महित्वं कर्मयोगजम्।
महित्वं
महित्वं
कर्मयोगजम्
कर्मयोगजम्।
यश्चक्रे निरयोपम्यम्।
यश्चक्रे
यश्चक्रे
निरयौपम्यम्
निरयोपम्यम्।
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः
पुरुषानुजनप्रियः।
Anyone else?
Okay. भौमं दिव्यं मानुषं च
भौमं
ओमं
Bhaumam
दिव्यं
Divyam
दिव्यं
Manusham
मानुषं च।
Cha.
मानुषम्
Mahidvam karma yogajam.
Mahit karma yogajam.
Yogajam
Yaschakre nirayopamyam.
Yaschakre
Yaschakre
nidayopamyam.
nirayopamyam
Purushanjuna priyaha.
Purushano
Purushano
jana
janapriyaha.
Anyone? Okay. So we'll do word to word. Bhaumam
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 of the lower planets.
of
of
the
the
lower
lower
planet.
planet.
Divyam
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 heavenly.
heavenly.
Heavenly
Manusham
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 of human beings.
of
of
human
of
beings.
human beings.
Cha
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 also.
also.
Mahitvam
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 all opulences.
all
all
opulences.
opulences.
Karma
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 by fruitive activities.
by
by
fruitive
fruitive
activities.
activities.
Yoga
yoga
by mystic power.
by
by
mystic
mystic
power.
power.
Jam
Jam
born.
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 Yaha
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 one who.
One who
one who
Chakre
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 did.
did
did
Niraya
niraya
with hell.
with hell.
with hell.
Aupayam
Opium
Upamayam
comparison or equality.
comparison
comparison or
equality.
equality.
Purusha
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 of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
of the
of the
Supreme
Supreme Personality of
Personality of
Godhead.
Godhead.
Anujana
Anujan
Jana
to the devotee.
to the
to the
devotee.
devotee.
Priyaha
Priyaha
Yaha
most dear.
most dear.
most dear.
Thank you. So, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jai.
So, please repeat translation after me. As a great follower
As a
As a
great
Great
follower
follower
and devotee of the sage Narada,
and
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 devotee of
devotee of
the
the sage
Narada,
Narada,
Maharaj Priyavrat
Maharaj
Maharaj
Priyavrat
Priyavrat
considered hellish the opulences
considered
considered hellish
hellish
the
the
opulences
opulences
he had achieved by dint of fruitive activities
he
yet
had
achieved
achieved
by
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 dint
the
of
dint of
fruitive
fruitive
activities
activities
and mystic power,
and
and
mystic
mystic
power,
power,
whether in the lower
whether
whether
in the
in the
lower
lower
or heavenly planetary systems
or
or
heavenly
heavenly
planetary
planetary
systems
planetary
systems
systems
or in human society.
or in
or
or
human
in
human
society.
human
society.
society.
Thank you. So please hear the
Thank you.
purport. Srila Rupa Goswami has said that the position of a devotee is so super excellent that a devotee does not consider any material opulence worth having. There are different types of opulences on earth, in the heavenly planets and even in the lower planetary systems known as Patala. A devotee, however, knows that they are all material and consequently he is not at all interested in them. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Param Drishtva Nivartate. Sometimes yogis and jnanis voluntarily give up all material opulences to practice their system of liberation and taste spiritual bliss. However, they frequently fall down because artificial renunciation of material opulences cannot endure. One must have a superior taste in spiritual life. Then he can give up material opulence. Maharaj Priyavrat had already tasted spiritual bliss and therefore he had no interest in any of the material achievements available in the lower, higher, or middle planetary systems. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the fifth canto of chapter 1 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam entitled The Activities of Maharaj Priyavrata. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshur-Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay. Once again, the verse for today: Bhaumam divyam manusham cha mahitvam karma yogajam yaschakre nirayo pamyam purushanujana priyaha. Translation: as a great follower and devotee of sage Narada, Maharaj Priyavrat considered hellish the opulences he had achieved by dint of fruitive activities and mystic power, whether in the lower or higher planetary systems or in human society. Okay. Hare Krishna. So, this is the first chapter of fifth canto we finished today, and as we see the first chapter, the entitled talks about the activities of Priyavrata, and we have discussed in last maybe more than a month of our discussion where we are just discussing about the activities of Priyavrata. We know that how Priyavrat Maharaj was actually uh, requested by many people, including his father, his parent, and then it went escalated to even up to the Brahmaji, where Brahma has to interfere and he has to come down and persuade him to take Grahastha ashram and actually to become a king and rule it. So I was reading Srila Prabhupada's some purport of I forgot the verse, but there it says actually in the even in the introduction, we can see that Priyarat Maharaj, born in, because he's the son of Manu, so he lived a life. His life as a young boy was very opulent. As a, he's a king, and Priyarat Maharaj's father is actually ruler of the entire this world. So obviously he has everything at his disposable. So he was living a life of a very opulent prince, and then he went into perform some austerities. As here it says, his guru Narad Muni. So he started doing austerity, and he somehow got so attracted or so committed to this path of austerity that he completely stayed as a or we can say brahmachari or sannyasi, very renounced life, detached from his family, detached from everything. But then the time came where all the descendants of his brother Uttanapat finished, then he has to take up it. So for a person, he saw opulence before, and Prabhupada writes, he saw opulence everything before. Then he gave up to become a mendicant or to become a sannyasi. Then again he took up this material opulence, and this time it's not like a prince. Prince means still he has got some restrictions as a prince. He can't have all types of enjoyments. But when he took the role of a king, he has everything at his disposal. All subjects, power, his wealth. He can do anything. So all opulences again got to him. But it says even the second time also, when the time came, as when we go ahead, we see that Privat Maharaj, he performs his duty and then he gives up. So then here the point I was trying to make is Privat Maharaj, as many people, as here in the purport also Prabhupada says, many times like yogis and Gyanis, they go in pursuance of some mystic powers. And after performing some time, they don't, most of them, as Prabhupada says, they fall down. So they come back. But here, Priyavrat Maharaj, the first time he went, he got so committed to it. Only the great personality, authority like Brahma has to come to persuade, to bring him back. So what is that thing which is different from Priyavrat Maharaj and in the case of Priyavrat Maharaj and all these yogis and gyanis is because yogis and gyanis, what they persuade is material thing. Even though it's opulence, is some kind of ashtasiddhis, navnidhis, or some fruitive activities, they may get all these things, but they are all material. A person who has understanding, knowledge of spirituality or Krishna consciousness, as we say, so once he has tasted, and here Prabhupada also writes, Param Drishva Nivartate. So that is higher taste. One who has got higher taste of Krishna consciousness. So whatever the material taste, even though it's maybe top class or the top class of a king or a great demigod, it doesn't attract him. It doesn't attract the devotee. And we have seen this in case of Priyavrat Maharaj, that he has done everything. But when he came back, so the question might come that how come he got again involved in this thing? So that's where the very important point. And some devotees, when I talk, a personal conversation we heard, sometimes they get some roles, either in management or in some kind of, they said initially they are reluctant to accept it because they feel it is not, they are not capable or they are not, they don't want to do it. But somehow that role comes to them as a responsibility and then they take as a responsibility and they perform it. So, and then in the conversation, I also know that once a person, if he's not looking for a position or post or some kind of power, if he's not interested, you give him that role or that post or that power, he won't misuse it. Now, today, we see in the external world or material world, everyone is trying to pull the other, the opposition trying to pull the ruling leader or ruling party. People are trying to create some problem, havoc for opposition. It because all play of a power. It's they are all so much obsessed with this power, acquiring this power. I was hearing one person, a politician, was saying, if you promise me that on my dead body, you put my dead body on the seat of a minister, I will give up my life. So he was so that shows his obsession that in while I'm living, I may not get this post, but if I have to die, if I have to give up this body, but if the person promises that my body will be, my dead body will be put on that executive chair or whatever minister's chair, he's happy to give up. So see how much power is intoxicates people. Yes, one type of intoxication, people get some wealth. What wealth goes, it is manageable. But when it come power, people can't see. Even the family, we have heard in the history that just for sake of getting some ruling power, brothers have killed their own brothers. They have killed their parents, and it's like in the history we can go, we can turn these pages, and we can see so many cases. But here, Priyavrat Maharaj, when his brother was ruling, he was already became detached, and then when he came back, it this power didn't corrupted him. That is the point I'm trying to say. It didn't corrupt because if this power, if he has come for his own personal agenda, so that might have corrupted him. But it was not corrupted because he took up this service as a king or as a progenitor, and for generations, he took as a service. So that's why you see, if you see any person who is not very much interested in taking a power, but if you give him the power, he'll try to do justification because he's detached. So any service when we are performing, even Krishna consciousness, we have experiences that if you are attached to some service, sometimes there is a possibility that we might uh, do some errors. But if the service comes to us as a responsibility, as instructed by higher authority or guru, then we perform it more consciously. So there is a possibility of errors reduces. So here in the case of Priyavrat Maharaj and then not, Priyavrat Maharaj, and there are many examples in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam we see, like Prithu Maharaj is there and Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj says for him, when he was living this world, renouncing this world, he considered this wealth as a yellow stool. I think in the fifth canto, in the same canto, this talk comes where he considers, maybe I'm mixing up with Dhruv Maharaj with probably Priyavrat Maharaj. It comes in the fifth canto, 17th chapter, 14th chapter, where it says, the king, when he is renouncing, he sees the whole material opulence as a stool. It's not more than stool. So when a person who is spiritually enlightened or who has got this higher taste, param drishtva nivartate, so he doesn't get attracted to lower taste. So Priyavrat Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, in Dhruv Maharaj's case, after performing severe austerity, Lord Vishnu appeared, and when he asked, what do you want? Please, my dear son, ask me some for boon. Then Dhruv Maharaj says that I was looking for some broken piece of glasses. Here he is referring to material opulences, like greater kingdom than his own great grandfather Brahma. But he says, I got the diamonds now, which is invaluable. I don't want to trade this for anything else. But still, as we know, Vishnu has awarded him Dhruva Loka. And then Lord Rama, even in our case of Mahaprabhu, he was having nice mother, nice family, lot of followers. He's doing as a normal, particular, living human beings. When we see, he was doing everything perfectly. He has got everything, whatever as a normal person needs. But one person, a Brahmana, cursed him that he should be bereft of material opulences. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't try to argue with him or debate with him or do anything. He just accepted, okay, this is a Brahmana's curse, so this curse has to be answered or responded. So then he took the sannyas. Of course, that is the external reason he has been cursed. But in that section I was reading where Prabhupada says, one Mahaprabhu took it because the person Brahmana is higher, that higher class in human society. If they have said something, their walk should get some power, or it has to be answered. So that's one of the reasons. And then obviously Mahaprabhu himself was thinking that he has to go around the whole India, Vrindavan, South India tour, so that there are so many devotees waiting for his arrival, and so many people were the ignorant souls who don't even know what is the purpose of life, and Mahaprabhu want to go to them. So this is a very good setting for Mahaprabhu to get the curse from. So again, there, if you in case of Mahaprabhu's life also, imagine 70 years old mother, and then young wife, very young wife, as goddess of fortune. Giving up, it's not possible for a human, even a very sane human being or very high class human being. It's not possible if he's not Krishna conscious. Of course, Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. Even Amrish Maharaj, all these personalities who are kings, they could able to do because their power was, they had higher taste of Krishna consciousness. And the fifth canto only, when we go ahead in fifth chapter, where great personality Rishabdev is the great example that how a human being should do austerity. And he says, Tapo Divyam Putrakayena Sattvam. So we have to, and he instructs his 100 sons that you have to do tapasya. Everyone should do tapasya. And tapasya is, in this day and age, for our tapasya, Prabhupada has given is, we have to chant 16 rounds and follow 4 regulative principles, and whatever rules and regulations are there, we have to follow. That's it. But in previous ages like Satyuga, the tapa was more austere, and they were doing tapasya for thousands of years. But after doing thousands of years tapasya, if anyone still has this inclination to be a king, he will become king. Or most of times, when you follow this the path of austerity, it's very difficult for them to shift it because they have been living like a very austere life, and then suddenly you give him royal life is difficult. Many people won't accept. But whereas in the case of these personalities, Priyavrat Maharaj was not interested, but when he saw you got the blessing from or instruction from Brahma, he accepted it. That acceptance comes when we are actually understanding what is Krishna consciousness. Even in Krishna consciousness, a person living as a grahastha, he can still be a great Krishna conscious devotee. And there are people, they can take up sannyas or even Babaji Vesh, but they are completely thinking about sense gratification. It's possible. Now, I don't know name, but recently there is this personality who was very highly qualified in Vrindavan. He started doing some kind of preaching, and a lot of people were following him. And later on, he was caught doing nonsense in Vrindavan. See, this is what happens. People, when they see, if I become a sadhu, they get attracted. Okay, there are people are following. There are so many followers. Some people they say Jai, Jai, Jai for all whatever you speak. So that's greater attachment than even having gold. And this person thought, oh, let me get that. And because he's very intellectual fellow, graduated from very reputed universities in India, and he thought this is a great thing to pursue. And he actually became a sadhu. He started doing kirtan, and then he had this thing. And then later on, came to know there are a lot of complaints about him that he was doing something which is forbidden, and he was now jailed. So because if anyone, even in bhakti also can, by performing bhakti, people can just get these things. Bhakti in the garba bhakta, people can get all power, name, fame. But because these are all material, eventually they all fall down. And Prabhupada here saying, Gyanis and Yogis, what to speak of today's devotees, most of them are not even for following this, but even Gyanis, they study Shastra so, and they perform such severe austerities, and Yogis such severe austerities, but they are falling down because they don't have substance. The substance what a Krishna consciousness can provide, these Gyanis and Yogis can't, because their substance is some material opulence, some material wealth and power, which is obviously today, if the opulence is there with me, that opulence is something has to be transferred to someone else after the person's death. Power, maybe I may have some power until I live, but after that, that power shifts. So all these things are shifting because these are material. But only thing bhakti, which is the higher taste, once who has really got this taste, they don't want to trade it with for anything. That's why all these personalities, great personalities, had a difficult time to convince Priyavrat Maharaj to take up again royal life again. And then Brahma has to come down. So as a sadhaka, as a practicing devotees, for us, these are great examples of from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, even though this has been, this happened many years ago or some ages ago. But this education is so relevant that how even in the form of opulence, surrounded by opulent personalities, opulent life, still a person can become a pure devotee. That is not impossible. Otherwise, uh, if you, and for that, obviously, the important thing which we have to carry is our association of devotees. And obviously, the obvious question comes that we are all grastas living in a house. So if we do bhakti, recently even one of the guests was, I was talking to him. He said, I asked him, Prabhu, how can I improve? Means how can I, what else can I do in bhakti so that I can improve? And this person with very, generally he says, I don't want to instruct anyone, but because you asked me, I'm telling you. And he told few people after that, after me also, that in a day, if you are husband, wife, two of you, that's fine. If you have kids also fine. So at least chant 4 rounds together as a family. And chanting 4 rounds, that is maybe 15, that may take 20, 25 minutes or half an hour. So that is a time when you stay together, do this together, then your family, you all become Krishna conscious nicely because everyone is carrying the same values. And when we carry the same values, then our relationships are not material. Our relationship transcends, and in the transcendent relationship, there is no break. Otherwise, in material life, we see so many breakups are there happening. But when we have a Krishna conscious family, things we are performing activities around Krishna in the family. So there are no breakups. Even our great saint Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that one day in his bhajan, he says, one day I saw that my house, when I came home, I saw my house has been converted to Vaikuntha. And all my, because my wife is cooking for Krishna, my kids are doing some cleaning work and preparing for bhoga for Krishna, everything, everyone is engaged in some spiritual activities. That is possible. And for that, we need association. So okay, the point I was saying of association, yes, one association is we can do this. The other, but at the same time, if we have to know are we really associating with family, are we really doing, if you want to check, if you want to evaluate, for that, this importance of studying Shastra is given. Because recently, again, I was hearing this class, and in this class, that devotee was talking to someone that you speak so much of knowledge, you have got so much knowledge. What all other than Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, what do you read? He said, I read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Ishopanishad. And he says everything is there in Srimad, in our Prabhupada's books. We don't have to go out. And again, please don't quote me. Don't get me wrong that we don't have to read. It's up to individuals' interest. Sometimes some even Prabhupada disciples are writing very great books. We can write, but this devotee was trying that everything as a bhakta to advance in Krishna consciousness or to evaluate our bhakti is going in a proper direction. Prabhupada's books have given everything. And after reading Prabhupada books, yes, we have time. We want to pursue, we want to even pursue more knowledge. There is nothing wrong. Even we have got many other great personalities have written so many books. So these are all like some association. These are actually we are associating when we study Bhagavatam, means we are associating with Prabhupada, we are associating with these great personalities. And in this association, we get the proper direction. And everyone on this, they can vouch also that sometimes even this happens very often to me because we do Bhakti Riksha, we meet people. They say, Prabhu, whenever I have any problem, I just pick up Bhagavad Gita just to get some direction. I randomly open a page and I read a few lines or a couple of paragraphs, and I find my answer is my this ambiguity, whatever doubts I have, it's got cleared. As if Krishna want is put the answer there. And this is very common. Why? Because these are all dynamics. This book is not static. And Prabhupada says, instead of dynamic, Prabhupada says it's ecstatic. So the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam is ecstatic or dynamic, where we are associating directly with them. So association with devotees, devotee Bhagavata, and associating with book Bhagavata. So book Bhagavata is there. So if we study every day the Shastras, then it doesn't matter what kind of opulences, material opulences, Maya entices us, we won't get distracted. And there are plenty of examples I can quote. We know so many examples. Like great example is Haridas Thakur, even Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. Once someone came and trying to tell Gaur Kishore Das Babaji that there is a snake in his room or in his kutir, and he came to say that, Babaji, can I move it? And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji was very, very angry. He said, get lost. Very strongly was telling, get out from here, don't come. And people didn't understand. Later on, when it was said, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji said, it was Maya trying to enter here. and I didn't entertain her. So of course that is personalities like them is great, but see, they also became, because they are not just studying, even the study of Prabhupada books, it's not should in like a hobby reading. The study of Prabhupada books means we have to get into the skin of character. Then we actually, really, in a real sense, we understand what this character is doing, what is the mood of this devotee, and what are the values the devotee is carrying. We also have a great opportunity to carry. And then when these opportunities, these things we imbibe in our life, then no material maya or anything cannot entice. So we will be happy. Like Sudama, he didn't have anything, even he didn't have to eat anything, but he lived very happy life. He's more happy than anyone in this whole world now. Maybe the except for few, he was more happy. But materially, if you look at it, his condition was very bad, pathetic. His wife could not able to see his position. Was so skinny, so hungry, and his kids were hungry. She has to tell him strongly that go to Krishna and get something. It's not again. Uh, we should sometimes people say that his wife was more into. She was more materialist. No, actually, she was not able to see the condition of her husband. For that purpose, she gets harder on him. Just you do it, and finally, Sudama accepted, and he went, and then you know the story. So even in that condition where everything akinchana, that's why Krishna says the devotees becomes akinchana when they don't have anything material. That is the time Krishna offers himself, and when we have Krishna, that means we have everything. So that's how. And then for devotees, even Maya comes, it doesn't matter. They can deal with Maya happily. But if you don't have that, guard of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad Gita, this scriptural guard of particular Prabhupada books, so we can fall for everything. So there is saying that if you don't have anything to stand, then we will fall for everything. So stand means if you don't have Prabhupada's books or Prabhupada's teachings in our life, then we can be easily targeted, we can easily be fallen down for any small things. We get agitated, we get disturbed. So that's how even in Kali Yuga, as the day passes, months passes, year passes, the study of these books, the knowledge of Prabhupada books became so very important now. Even before, because before people life was a little more simple, but now we are getting so complicated, so complicated, so complicated. So these books are getting more relevant than ever before. So that's why if we have this knowledge, the guard of proper books, and then we follow the instructions, whatever is our guru or acharyas has given, if we do that, that's enough. Then we won't fall down for any material allurements, and we could able to do our bhakti nicely, and then we can at the end of life or whenever Krishna sees that this person is ready, this soul is ready, then he'll take us back home, back to Godhead. That's easy. The process is easy, but our way of doing is difficult. It depends on the person. He can make this easy. They can do bhakti very simply, very nicely. If you don't have too many complications, simple life, it's possible. That's why Prabhupada's favorite slogan was simple living, high thinking. So we have to simplify our living in our life, and then high thinking means studying of the Shastra, understanding more. We have to develop this. Recently, we are attending this course. There, this devotee was saying, whenever we study Shastra, Prabhupada has given 12 principles of Shastric study. Cup, fate, Mars. So we have to understand. Cup, fate, Mars means knowledge, understanding, preaching application, personal application, evaluation, so many mood and mission, Shastric, theological, and then Shastra Chakshu. So all these things are Prabhupada is given. So when we are studying this Shastra systematically, means when we study this with that, with those specs or with those glasses, we try to see that what is the understanding I can gain from this shloka or this pastime. What is the personal application? How can we apply it personally? And then how can, when we are speaking to someone, how can we even give others also this preaching application? So there's so many things are there. And what is the mood of Prabhupada? Very important. Sometimes Prabhupada quotes something and people take it, okay, Prabhupada said this, they generalized it. No, we should not generalize. We have to understand when Prabhupada has quoted something, we have to know, okay, why, in what sense, in what context Prabhupada has quoted that. But similarly, when we go through these 12 principles of study and when we study Shastra and try to evaluate or try to see from these 12 principles, then our study of Bhagavatam gets more ecstatic, no understanding. Otherwise, we just read a story and that's gone. After some time, we don't even know what we read. But when we have these principles, then automatically we actually started living. In fact, before finish, I would like to say this. It was Bhakti Rasayan Sagar Swami in one of the classes said, if we study Shastras regularly, particularly Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was quoting, when you are studying Bhagavatam every day, then you become part of that. You start witnessing those pastimes live. Means live in the sense is not that it's happening, but we are transported to that place, or we are transported mentally or spiritually, that actually we started visualizing these things. That's why many of us devotees could have experience sometimes when these devotees, some of Prabhupada disciples or great kirtanias or kathakars, when they speak something Bhagavatam, people think that how they are speaking that, from where it's coming. Actually, it's coming because they are becoming part of it. They could able to see it. So that's how we also want those things. We also want to be part of that. Then we can all get into this Bhagavatam study, uh, uh, proper study, systematic study of scriptures. Then we can, then no Maya can distract us, no allurements can distract us, and we get this spiritual higher taste. And once we have higher taste, then we don't fall for anything small. So with this, I stop here. If anyone has any comments, questions, corrections, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mukunda, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you very much for wonderful class. You know, we are just thinking in case of Priyavrata Maharaj, and when, because of the order of Brahma, he took up the kingdom, and he was engaged in all the, if apparently that looks like that it was sense gratification. But if we look at the devotee, even apparently you can say that they are enjoying and having all the opulences, but the important point is that they are always thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord. They are doing all the activities, they have got children, they have got wives, they are going to work and everything. And that is the one lesson we have to learn from Maharaja Priyavrata. Well, of course, he was such an elevated devotee and renounced order. But we as Grastas can take example, and though we are in a household life and we are, following or we are doing all our activities, but important thing is, as in our Krishna conscious activities, we are giving that chanting our rounds attentively, 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles, having association of devotees, reading, hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all devotees in Krishna conscious we have in our, this ISKCON. So, if we do anything, but inside, internally, we never forget Krishna. We always remember Krishna and do all these activities which, as a householder, we do and involve our family. So this is the important lesson we learn from Maharaja Priyavrata's, that anybody can do that. Remaining in household duties, actually, we can perform all these activities. An important thing is rendering service. And we can see in our temple itself so many devotees They have got their jobs, they have, as you yourself has got everything, but doing service and preaching to people with your Bhakti Vrisha groups. So this is really wonderful. Srila Prabhupada has given this. Thank you very much, Prabhuji,
Thank
for
you,
your
Mataji.
class.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anyone
Haribol,
else?
Haribol,
Hare-
Prabhu. Thank you so
Hare-
much for class. That was so good. And I just wanted to pick up on the point you made about as a devotee family being able to sit down and chant together.
Yes.
That was such a, I know devotees know this in theory, but I never did it with my children. And as you spoke that, Prabhu, I know in my heart of hearts it would have been such a lovely activity for us to have to done together as a family. And so I kind of regret that I didn't get solidly into Krishna consciousness a bit earlier in my life. But, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for giving those really practical tips for Grihastha families. Haribol, thank you.
Hare Krishna. This is not mine, Mataji. I'm just repeating. There are some other speaker sitting. I'm just loudspeaker. So, because that's how when we say we are associating with some senior devotees, or even we had Prabhu Vishnu Prabhu, associate with these personalities means we try to imbibe the instructions or their mood, because they have got that from Prabhupada. So they are directly recipients of that mood. So we can easily acquire from them. Whenever we have this thing, we should take it and then we can work it out. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. So it's almost 7:28:27. So we'll stop here. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki,
Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai.
Jai.
Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki. Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol.
Hare
His Grace Mukund Kumar Prabhuji ki
Gaur
Jai.
Bhaktivinoda ki.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.